todo el mundo y bienvenido a mi canal. Yo me llamo Sade. Soy una abogada afrolatina licenciada practicando la ley criminal, pero como todos ustedes, a mí me fascina cuando estamos hablando de casos de crímenes reales. En este video vamos a continuar hablando de Susan Lorincz. Si quieren más video en español, nada más dime allá abajo. Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name is Desiree. I'm a licensed and practicing Afro-Latina criminal attorney who, much like the rest of you, has a severe fascination with true crime cases. Listen. Okay, you guys. I feel like for the last few videos, I've just been recording nonstop for you guys, and you can hear it in my voice. Like my voice is going hoarse. But you know what? It doesn't even matter. It doesn't even matter. You want to know why? Because I live for your entertainment, okay? I live for you and your entertainment. But, you know, because my voice is going hoarse and we've just gone through a lot of different document reviews and videos of such nature, I felt like this would be a nice little light video kind of discussing one of the cases that we previously talked about. There's no document review here, but we are going to give you my reactions, my opinions, my whatever on an interview that Susan Lorincz did, I guess let's say just a little bit ago. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and get into it. This is our continued coverage on the case of Susan Lorincz. If you guys will remember, Susan Lorincz is this Caucasian senior citizen, and I'm only mentioning her race because I do think it is important for the purposes of this story. So Susan Lorincz is a Caucasian senior citizen in Florida who got into it with minor children. And at some point during her interaction with these minor children, who are the Williams boys, Williams brothers, and I will let you know why I said it that way in just one moment. But after or at some point during the interaction, right, she tells these little black boys in the middle of the South to go fetch as if they're some dogs or some puppies or some animals. And then when the mama bear went over to her home, mama bear is Ashika Owens, goes over to her home to confront her for telling her little black sons to go fetch as if they're some dogs, right? Susan Lorincz decides that she's so, oh my God, woe is me, afraid for her life and safety, that she decides to shoot and kill Ashika Owens behind her locked and closed front door.
Hello and thanks for joining us. I'm Mary Kelly, and today for Deborah, we begin with a verdict in the trial of a neighborhood feud that turned deadly. On trial was the homeowner who was complaining about children playing near her house. After the mother of the kids went over to confront her, prosecutors say she was fatally shot right through the closed front door. Amber Cogliano reports.
We, the jury, find the defendant is guilty of manslaughter.
Guilty. The 60-year-old woman who opened fire through her front door and shot a neighbor dead is convicted of manslaughter. Relatives of the 35-year-old victim could be seen weeping in court as the verdict was read. The failed shooting was the climax of a long-running dispute Susan Lorincz was having with her neighbor in Ocala, Florida, over children playing on her block.
Every time I turn around, the kids are always screaming and stuff like that. Someone's throwing stuff at this window.
When the victim, mother of four, A.J. Owens, knocked on Lorentz's front door demanding to speak with her, Lorincz shot her through the door. She told cops she was acting in self-defense and didn't intend to kill anyone.
Was your goal to shoot and kill her?
No,
What was your goal?
to shoot and hopefully, she'd hear the shot and dissipate.
In a dramatic moment in the trial, the front door with a bullet hole was brought into court. The victim's mom spoke out after the verdict.
My heart is a little lighter, and we're now on the path of true healing.
And I will say this for the new listeners and viewers who are watching me, I will say this. If a case has a racial component to it, regardless of the races of the people, I will tell you that I believe the case has a racial component to it. Let's stop right here. Okay, I think my most watched video on this channel still to this day is the case of Sade Robinson. Sade Robinson was a beautiful little chocolate drop who decided to give this criminal by the name of Maxwell Anderson, who happened to be white, a chance and just pitied him and went on a date with him. And he dismembered her and killed her and all of these things, right? In that case, and you will go back and watch this video if you want to take me up on my, whatever I'm saying, or if you want to fact check me. I never mentioned Maxwell's race once because I do not believe that Maxwell killed her because she was black. Maxwell was interested in her. He wanted some chocolate drops in his life, or you know what I'm saying? Like he liked her. He was sexually attracted to this person who was damn near half his age. But regardless, I don't think that crime was racially motivated. Okay? So I know there's a lot of people, especially in the climate that we're in right now, who will say to themselves, well, why does everything have to be about race? I'm not telling you that everything does. But again, if a case has a racial component to it, I'm going to point it out to you. Now, on top of telling these little black boys in the middle of the South to go fetch, Susan Lorincz also decided to call them the N-word on separate occasions. And it's my understanding that her relationship with Ashika was quite contentious nonetheless. Anyways, she did an interview from behind bars where she's explaining the treachery, of her convictions and saying that she is just not racist. And how could the world think this of her? And she just went into a whole bunch of irrelevant shit. Sorry. But we're going to talk about that today and give you guys my reactions on it. So let's go ahead and get started. So Susan Lorincz gave an interview after she was already convicted by jury to kind of explain her side of things. So like I said, this isn't going to be a document review video because I'm going hoarse in reading all of these things to you guys. And I just needed a little breaky break, but I also want to give you guys the content that you like and deserve. I'm here for your entertainment. So let's go ahead and give you guys my opinions on Susan, her treachery, her deceit, her... Ew. Let's just go ahead and talk about this woman. So one of the things I noticed about Susan Lorinc's interview was her complete and continued lack of accountability. Now, what do I mean when I say that? So she basically said that she was convicted because her lawyers didn't do their job, basically. And she also said that she wished that she could have taken the stand to tell her side of things, but she was advised by counsel not to do so. Here's where I'm going to call her out. In any criminal case that I have ever tried, ever, and probably that you guys have ever watched and seen, the court will do an advisement to the defendant, which is something like, you have the right to testify. This right is yours and yours alone. You can testify even against the advice of your counsel. Do you know that the decision is yours to make? No one can tell you not to testify, even your attorneys. Do you understand? Do you understand? Okay. All right. The decision to testify was yours. So even if your counsel advised you not to testify, it's still your decision. So now that you were convicted, coming back and being like, well, I was just listening to my attorneys, doesn't look good on you.
Well, were you satisfied with your defense team?
No.
Why?
My attorney said, I strongly recommend you do not testify. And had I testified, I could have told them when she broke the doors. And that was the one thing that the jury got hung up on. And I had two other witnesses who would have corroborated, we knew the door was broke. And they were never called.
And the door being broken, you contend what? That she could have easily gotten in?
Yes. Yes, absolutely. Because the actual frame of the door was not solid.
You regret not taking the stand?
Yes.
Which then could have opened you up to cross-examination, but at the same time, you would have been able to tell your side of the story.
Exactly.
Have you had a discussion with the defense attorney regarding that decision?
It was very brief and terse.
Terse, what'd you say?
I told her it was reprehensible that she gave me the warning.
Susan also mentioned that she was abused by her father, and Ashika Owens coming to her home on that date kind of re-traumatized her and made her think of her dad and everything that she had been through with her dad and, oh, woe is me and blah, 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 and all this. I don't believe a word that's coming out of this woman's mouth.
You also at sentencing talked about your past, including surgeries, and if we can maybe discuss this about sexually being abused. Do you think that played a part in who you are now?
Yes. The fear factor. She acted like my father. And it just triggered that I felt like a child who was going to get beat. And my father was very brutal. I mean, he put me in the hospital, and it wasn't fun. And when the prosecution said, oh, you could have locked the door, my father kicked in more doors than I can count. And if we were under the bed, he would flip the beds over and grab us. So to me, there was no safe place.
It's like the story with her just continues going on and keeps growing legs and adding more components to it because she wants people to sympathize with her. And I don't think that she gets that we just don't buy it. And also what struck me was the fact that when asked why she wanted to do this interview or why now, something to that effect, don't quote me, she stated, because I needed the world to know the truth. I needed the world to know that I'm not racist.
Our viewers may be watching this saying, why are you giving her an opportunity to speak? And again, for that, you would say what?
Because I want the truth to come out. I just want people to know the truth, that I am not a racist, that I did not do this on purpose. This was not, a premeditated thing. I had no animosity for this woman.
You say no animosity, but police had been called to your place numerous times before. We have the body camera video too. There's got to be some animosity.
I try not to hold it against a person. I've made my fair share of mistakes, and I wouldn't want somebody to retain anger against me. Like I said, we all have bad days. Just get over it and move on, because if you hold on to that, your life's going to be miserable.
But some say you did not move on because you grabbed the gun. You had situations with her children before. Was this a lapse of judgment in your part by taking the gun?
I, honest to God, thought she was going to kill me. And it was fear. It was fear. I feared for my own safety.
Do you think this case also revolved around race? And what do you say to those who say this was a white woman who shot a black woman?
I'm so very sorry. That's how it happened. I'm white. She's black. You cannot pick how you are born. It's just, it is what it is. But it was not because she was a black woman. It's because she said, I'm going to kill you.
Do you think that there were any missteps in the investigation?
Oh, yes, many. I think once those children had said that it was a racial matter, they're like, oh my God, she's a racist. And that's just not true. I was married to a Middle Eastern man who was Muslim. My nephew is part black. I've had black friends since I was 5 years old. I grew up in Passaic, New Jersey, very, very diverse, demographic. And I have black friends here in jail. And I'm like, oh my God, it's not true. It's emphatically not true.
Susan Lorincz is not a racist.
No, sir. Not at all.
Now, why is that absolutely hysterical to me? Well, you didn't say because you wanted to take accountability. You didn't say because these kids had lost their mother. You didn't say any of that. You didn't say any of that. Nothing about remorse, nothing about guilt, nothing about anything. But you didn't like how you were portrayed in the media. That's absolutely crazy. Now, speaking of those boys again, because I told you guys that I was going to let you know why I said the Williams brothers with such conviction at the beginning of this video, let me explain. I read a comment on one of my videos about this case where someone said that I was foolish and I was silly and I was misrepresenting because there was no one named William in the case. But it's just funny to me because y'all don't hear or read or see or write. Like, I can't continue to argue with illiterate trolls. The sons of Ajika Owens, their last name was Williams. There is no person named William in the story, but her sons have that last name, right? So before you try to troll people and check on people on the internet, like random strangers, maybe you should read. Anyways, let's continue. I think that this interview did not do Susan any favors. I think that this painted her in a negative light, but I'm not saying that it really damaged her reputation because I don't think there was much to damage. Susan, in my opinion, is a vile human being. In my opinion, I do think that Susan's crime was racially motivated. In my opinion, I do think that Susan could be considered racist. I do. I think that she is a vile grandma, if she's a grandma, just a vile old woman. Because let me tell you this, I am grown. I am a grown woman. And if I'm ever into it with some kids, first, that was never happen. That would just never happen. I don't do that. But second, I'll be like, sir and or ma'am, go ahead and point me to your mama. Okay? Because why are you engaging in a heated argument with minors in the first place? Explain that. You guys, I wanted to share this with you because, you know, it kind of breaks up the monotony of some of the cases that we're already covering, but also gives you my thoughts on a case that we had previously discussed. There are a few more cases that are going around that I kind of want to get you guys' opinions on to see if you want me to cover them or not. What comes to mind right now is the whole Pooh Shiesty and Gucci Mane incident, because I saw that the complaint was available, and we could talk about that if you guys want to. But I also saw, is it Julio Fulio? I see that that murder trial is ongoing right now, and let me know if you guys want me to do all the hard work and the studying and all of that of the trial so we can talk about that too. But that is it for this video. It's going to be brief. I just need a break, but I also want to talk to you. So that is it. Please let me know anything it is you need to let me know down below. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. Please be sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Until next time, y'all take care.